welcome back to another Aoi Tori episode. I gathered everyone in the lounge after class to have a get-together over tea. Naturally, the place main objective of discussion with everyone involved giving their approval for Mary to play the lead. With that, and at long last, Mary gives in. Fine, I'll do it, she said. Which brings us to the remaining and biggest problem, the script. Mary seems to be struggling a lot with deciding how it should go. How about we take a look at what you've got so far? Then we can all offer our own suggestions?
そうね。まずはどんな雰囲気なのか読んでみないことには何も言えないわね。
Sayo immediately agrees with my plan.
でも
Mary stiffens up, teacup halfway to her lips. Is there a problem?
その割とまだどちらかってるっていうかみっともない未完成状態っていうかただ書き殴っただけみたいな感じでとても人に見せられる形になってないから。
She awkwardly returns her cup to its saucer and forces herself to smile. Now that she's succeeded to play the lead, this is what's bothering her. Embarrassment at what happens to the girl in her script. Even so...
いいじゃない別に。誰も完璧な状態なんて最初から求めていないわよ。
そうだね。むしろ完成してしまったものを見るより私たちとしても意見を出しやすいかも。
Sayo and Risa pay Mary's characteristics no attention at all. I agree with them. Yeah, you're just being self-conscious, Mary. You don't need to worry, it's not like we're critics. I have no intention of seeing something stupid that'll dampen her motivation. Though Sayo might be in the mood to tease her, especially given how stumped Mary looks right now.
リツくんの言う通り。たとえ穴があったとしても、それをことさらにつつくようなことはしないから安心して。
Yeah, we'll just have Sayo laugh at you.
あくまでアシスト。
At
前向き
every
な
low
提案を
feel.
して協力したいというだけだから。そうよね、リツくん。
Exactly. Risa attempts to encourage Mary, and I back her up with a nod and smile. We won't be hurt if you don't like our ideas and choose to ignore them. But if you do come up with something you like, you're free to work it into your script. The final judgment is completely yours. This is your play after all.
リツくん。でもやっぱり今の状態で見せるのはちょっと。
Just when I thought we do manage to persuade her, Mary retreats further into her shell. If she's really so against it, we shouldn't for...
まだ渋るの？めんどくさいわね。あかり、メアリーの部屋から脚本を探してここに持ってきて。
はい、わかりました。
Akari had been listening in silence, only to immediately stand up and Saya gives the order.
そんな横暴な！どこが横暴なのよ。この後に及んで出し渋るメアリーの方がわがままってものでしょ。
Mary voices her objections, but Saya has no intention of listening.
あかりちゃんも素直に取りに行こうとしないで。私のメイドさんのはずでしょ。
How romantic. She thinks appealing to Akari will work better, huh? Mary runs over and tries to stop her from leaving the room.
はい、確かにその通りです。私はメアリーお嬢様のメイドです。
Akari smiles sweetly and nods. Whoa. Whoa. Whoa, it kind of looks a little bit too romantic.
でもメアリーお嬢様だけのメイドではありません。
Excellent. Akari's eyes narrow as she turns towards Sayo. Sayo starts crying in approval.
まさかあなた。そうです。私には仕えるお嬢様が2人いるんです。さよお嬢様のご意向に逆らうわけにもいきません。申し訳ありませんが、ご承知おきください。
Akari easily shakes off Mary and half jogs out of the room.
待つのはね、あなたの方よ。
Mary makes to chase after Akari until Sayo restrains her from behind.
ちょっとさよちゃん、話してよ。
ダメよ。諦めておとなしくしなさい。
Sayo's totally enjoying this.
リサ先
Now Mary turns to Risa in search of assistance.
生。ごめんなさい、メアリーさん。私も脚本の内容興味あるから。
Risa says nonchalantly and takes another sip of tea. Ugh. Same here, I'm afraid. You're gonna have to show us all eventually, anyway. Besides, it's not like we're the prospective audience. We're working on a play with you. There's nothing to be embarrassed about.
それはそうなんだけど。
And you said you wanted to get people's opinions to help, didn't you?
それもそうなんだけど。
Mary starts to sulk, cheeks going red as she looks away. The notebook she showed me before wasn't anything to be embarrassed about, anyway. It was rather charming.
見つけました。
Yatta! Oh, she's back already. There's a bunch of papers in her hands, which must be the script.
あら、早かったわね。
Aye aye.
そのまま机の上に置いてあったので。
Thanks for making it so easy. Mary starts to violently struggle as Akari sidles over to the two girls.
ダメよ。無駄な抵抗はおやめ。
Sayo tightens her hold on Mary. Her shoulders drop dejectedly. It's clear she has no chance of shaking Sayo off, even from where I'm standing. She might be a vampire, but somehow she's frailer than most girls. Slightly incompetent, you could even say, but it's cute regardless.
さあ、リツ。脚本の内容を私たちに教えてちょうだい。
Alright, let me clear my throat. Alright, I'm ready. Sayo grins as she gestures Akari towards me.
どうぞ。
Thanks. I take the bundle of papers and look back towards Maddie. I'm gonna start reading now.
どうぞ。
Maddie mutters without looking up to meet my gaze. She looks less like she hates this and more like she's just truly embarrassed. Once upon a time, I saw a huge big cat. That's curtain close, I guess. I finish reading the final page, raise my head, and look over to Maddie again. She's blushing from ear to ear while staring at the ground. She wishes would swallow her whole. If Sari wasn't still restraining her, I imagine she would be squatting down with her head in her hands. She might even have run away from the residence as fast as her legs would carry her, or flown straight towards the sun if there wasn't a roof over her head. As for the script in question, well, it proceeds from love scene to yet another love scene. It's a lot. The lines themselves are often overly dramatic to the point of cheesy in many cases. To be blunt, even leaving aside the fact that it's unfinished, it reads like Romeo and Juliet with all the drama taken out of it. Secondly, it's a huge makeout session. With poor enough stage direction, the whole thing would come off as a parody. So maybe that's just a natural result of a story focused on romance?
だからまだ読まれたくなかったのに。
Mary hangs her head even further.
ラブシーン、これでもかってくらい盛りだくさんですね。ちょっとびっくりかな。まさかこんなに甘い話だったなんて。
っていうか、これを人にやらせるつもりだったんだ。
だってせっかくラブロマンス要素がメインなんだから、景気よく放り込んだ方が面白いかなって。自分でやるなんて考えてなかったから、軽い気持ちでやっちゃえやっちゃえみたいな。
Mary's cheeks go even redder now that she's the center of attention again. Now we know one of the reasons Mary was so hesitant to take the lead role. I think it's pretty good actually. I think going through and touching up each scene is a much better way to proceed than starting entirely from scratch.
そうね。エンタメってやりすぎなくらいでちょうどいいものだし。
ラストをキスシーンで締めるとか、客も盛り上がりそう。このままいけば？
はい、クリスマスらしいロマンチック感があって素敵だと思います。みんなもそう思う？
Mary finally looks up, her expression a mix of anxiety and expectation. We're all for it, which I assume means you are too. Otherwise, we're gonna have to start again from scratch.
でも
Mary starts screaming, and Sayo releases her arms at the perfect moment for her to crouch to the floor and hold her head in her hands.
それは自分で演じる可能性なんて全くちともこれっぽっちも考えないで無責任に好き勝手書き散らかしたからなんだよ。
So you were planning on making others suffer, huh? This whole time? This feels like some sort of confession.
まあ、自らまいた種ってやつでしょ。
因果応報だとちょっとニュアンスが違うでしょうか。自業自得の方が近いかもね。
Impressive? There are 3 successive bombs and no sympathy in sight. Even so, Mary looks adorable right now.
いいよ、もう分かった。私が悪いんだもん。責任取って自分でやればいいんでしょ。やるよ、やりますよ。やればいいんでしょ。
やる気になったようで結構。話はこれで終わりってことでいいのかしら。
Mostly, we still have another member to cast. The main characters in Mary's play consist of the lead girl, whom she's playing, and one other. The love interest that runs contrary to her, the vampire prince.
もちろんそれはリツくんだよ。男の子の役だし、男の子がやるのが自然だもんね。
Okay.
いいと思います。
異議なし。
そうね。
Well, that went as expected. Not that I've ever acted before, so I have no idea if I'll be able to do a good job.
でも、リツとメアリーで濃厚なラブシーンなんてちゃんと演じられるのかしら。すごく楽しみね。
Grinding, Saya puts Mary on the shoulder. Her face instantly pales. I think she just got a dose of anxiety.
そうだよね。頑張っていっぱい練習しないと。ラブシーンの練習をいっぱい頑張る。
演技指導も必要かも。
演技指導？そんな恥ずかしい。
私たち相手に恥ずかしいなんて言っていたら、お客さんの前でなんてとてもやれないよ。
そうですよ、メアリー先輩。何事も慣れていかないと。バッチリ見てあげるから、それこそ今からちょっとここだけやってみたら？
今やってみて度胸をつけるの。最初の方の簡単なシーンでいいから。
Okay, cool.
リツくん、本当にやるの？
We're going to have to eventually, so we may as well get it over and done.
それもそうだけど。わかった。
We'll start with the introductory scene. I shall marry the page of the script I'm looking at.
わかったよ。
I then proceed to learn my lines. There aren't many, so it doesn't take long. I hand the script over to Mary. Mary gathers her nerves and reads quietly.
頭に入ってるんじゃないの？間違えたら恥ずかしいから。だからその時は笑ってあげるわ。ほんとひどい。
Don't bully her, Saya.
はいはい。
5 minutes later.
もう大丈夫だと思います。
じゃあ私が手を叩いたら演技スタートね。海野さん、見てる方がそんなに緊張してたら2人に伝わっちゃうよ。
That's just Akari's personality at work.
じゃあ行くわよ。
I'm playing the part of a vampire. He's injured and just barely managed to make his way to the residence. There he finds the story's heroine, played by Mary. She's captivated by the vampire to the point where she falls in love while nursing him back to health. The vampire is captivated by her too. They both know that eventually they'll have to say goodbye. That's the summary for you. I'm honored to have been invited into such a historic residence.
いえ。
I kneel before Mary and take her hand. Then I plant a kiss on the back of it. Text. I collapse.
大丈夫ですか？頭に怪我をしてらっしゃるのですか？
はい、そこまで。
Oh, I thought I got slapped.
はい。
Risa brings our acting attempt to a close ahead of a schedule. I stand up from the floor. Even Akari. Saya, without concealing it, and Akari, at least attempting to, are both laughing.
二人とも笑ってる。
Saya did make a promise about that one.
ごめんなさい。私は宣言通り笑ってるわよ。よかったわ。ど素人っぷりが可愛かったわ。仕方ないじゃない。初めてやったんだもん。
リツくんは結構形になっていたわね。
I only had one line.
率は期待できるわね。それに比べて私だよね、努力が必要なのは。
Let's give it an hour go, Mary.
もうちょっとだけなら。
じゃあさっきの続きをやってみましょう。
思い出した。
Lisa claps her hands again and the acting resumes. In that fashion, Mary and I spent the rest of the afternoon being toyed with by everyone. Of course, they do give out helpful pointers while teasing us. Naturally, we're both mentally fatigued. Mary sighs loudly as she drinks the tea I brewed. Good work today. You worked hard. But
かなり疲れたよ。お芝居って想像してた以上に大変なんだね。書くのとやるのじゃもう違い。
Mary smiles wryly. I can imagine. It wasn't a full-blown rehearsal by any means. It was more like a table read through the script. And even though we were just going graphically through them, there was a lot to take into consideration. I had to say a lot of things I normally would have found embarrassing, but honestly, I didn't have the capacity to worry about it. There's a lot more to memorize than just your lines when it comes to acting.
でもおかげで修正ポイントも分かったし、頑張って書き直さないと。
There are several spots in our script that would be difficult to perform on stage. The scenes themselves aren't the problem. It's more how we need to focus on our presentation techniques. We have Risa to thank for pointing those out. Mary took all of these pointers on board readily, noting down several required fixes, including elocution. The skill of clear, expressive speech, especially distinct pronunciation and articulation.
お茶もう一杯もらえる？
Sure. I take her empty cup and fill it with fresh tea. Mary's eyes narrow happily as she takes a sip.
お茶の温かさが身に染みる。ってこういうのちょっとお年寄りっぽくてあれかな。
You old, but you cute for a girl. It does, but what's it matter? You are actually old. It's only her appearance looking so young that makes me forget her actual age.
でもできれば年がいのない感じで行きたいな、どうせなら。
Mary puts down her cup, casting her eyes through the air as she thinks to herself.
ねえ、リツくん、ちょっとお願いがあるんだけど、いい？
What is it?
肩を揉んでほしいなって。今日は私にしては結構頑張ったと思うから、人からねぎらわれたいなって。ずうずうしい？
It's cool. I'll do it.
はーい、ありがとう。
Mary leans forward slightly and I walk around behind her to start rubbing her small shoulders. You did work really hard today.
気持ちいい。
Mary smiles, her eyes narrowing. Kinda feels like I'm giving my mom a massage, though. I know nothing about moms, obviously, but I've seen this a lot on TV.
お母さん？見た目的には私は妹じゃない？
Yeah, as long as you keep quiet. But the moment you open your mouth, you feel older. Despite your occasional childish moments.
もっと大人っぽい外見で止まってほしかったな。
I would have liked to see that.
すっごい美人さんかもだよ、私。
Yeah, I'll bet. Even Hollywood actresses would have been no match for her.
リツくんの頭の中で想像してみて。大人の私。
A mature version of Mary, huh? I stop rubbing her shoulders for a moment so I can look at her.
どう？リツくん？
I can't do it. You'd probably have surpassed my imagination anyway.
やだ。リツくんってば結構女の子殺しだよね。
Am I?
天然は怖いね。
Are you sure you only want a shoulder rub? I could get rid of that exhaustion for you.
ありがとう。でもいいよ。こうやってマッサージしてもらえるだけで十分だから。それに今日は本当に疲れたけど、それがなんだか嬉しいの。やったっていう充実感はすごくあって、むしろいい気分。
Like a comfortable tiredness kind of thing?
そうそう、それそれ。大変だったけど、恥ずかしかったけど、みんなで賑やかにいろいろできるっていいね。本当に楽しかった。
Mary smiled softly? Yeah. Considering how Mary walked alone in the darkness for so long, these normal, foolish moments must be a source of extreme happiness for her. And that's not to say I didn't have fun today, because I really did. But I kid him. Mary takes my hand, this time rubbing her cheek against it. What a kid you are. There's a soft, squishy pleasantness to it.
ありがとう、リツくん。おかげで元気とやる気湧いてきた。
She beams at me before sitting up straight and downing the rest of her tea.
さあ、部屋に戻ったらシーンの直しやっちゃおっと。
Sounds good. Just don't get so carried away you don't get enough sleep tonight.
それじゃあ、おやすみなさい。
Good night. Three out of 14 of Mary's story.
とりあえず周りの子を中心に劇の話をしてみました。みんな興味ありそうな感じでしたよ。
The academy will be practically empty, so we need to do some publicity work at least. Lisa had the dress as such, so I asked everyone to tell the people they're close to about the play. Since we don't have any marketing materials, we're limited to word of mouth for now. Mikago's helping out too, apparently, so I have a good feeling that this will work. She might not have any close friends, but she's well known, and her ability to talk to literally anyone without reserve will come in handy especially.
お客さんどれくらい集まるかな。
I don't know, we probably won't have a clue until the day itself. I can't even picture it myself. Given when we're putting on to play, it would be wise not to get our hopes up. That's just how it is though. You can only put on the play after everyone goes home for the holidays. There's too much practice and prep work to even think about bringing the performance date forward.
そうだよね。
Are you nervous? You look somewhat worried.
それはまあ、できればたくさんの人に見てもらいたいと思うよ。せっかくやるんだから。素人の劇とはいえね。
Maddie forces a smile as she sighs.
お客さんがいないガラガラの状態、空気に向かってお芝居するみたいなのはやっぱり虚しいと思う。
Maddie hugs herself and shivers as she imagines the possibility.
ものすごく寂しいクリスマスの思い出になっちゃうよ。まああんまりたくさん入ってもそれはそれでプレッシャー感じちゃいそうだけど、つまりすごく虫のいい話だけどほどほどに入ってほしい。
Maddie clasps her tiny hands together to emphasize her point. I know how I feel, but only God knows how this will go. We're limited in what we can do to help. There's not much other than believing people will come and preparing to give them the best show possible. Maddie, you said that there are no major problems remaining with the script? You do wanted to make some final touches before we settled on it for good?
もちろんまだ頭の中で考えただけのものだから実際にやってみて直す部分も出てくると思うけど、話全体の大筋としてはこれでいきたい。
Great! What does everyone else think?
いいんじゃない？私はこのままでも特に文句ないわ。私もです。
I look at everyone in turn and they look back, nodding in approval with what Saya said. No complaints it looks like. We should probably start practicing today then.
そうね、もうあまり時間もないし。でもみんな放課後の予定は大丈夫なの？
Everyone shakes their head.
部の方にも劇のことは話してありますので。助かる。じゃあ放課後に皆さんよろしくお願いします。
Maddie bows deeply in gratitude to everyone. And so, once again, everyone gathers in the lounge after class. All of us, myself included, have a copy of the script in our hands. We all read through it once, enough to know the general plot, but of course not enough for us to have memorized our lines.
で、何から始めるの？
Saya turns her attention to Maddie, who looks pensive.
どうすればいいのかな。専門的な知識とかないんだよね、私。
演劇部ならまあまずはウォーミングアップも兼ねて体操とか発声や発音の練習とかやるところでしょうね。
Lisa smiles and offers a lifeline to Maddie.
そうなんですか？
え？
先生、お詳しいんですね。
まあね、昔ちょっとだけね。
Lisa blushes and smiles.
私、昔からオペラとか演劇とか生ものの舞台が好きなの。それでね。
She's really into this stuff, which explains why she's so knowledgeable. Looks like she's not just going to be an advisor in name only.
でも無尽蔵に時間があるわけでもないし、みんな喋りはしっかりしているから、そのあたりは飛ばしちゃっていきなり本読みに入ってもいいと思う。
声に出して読むということですか？
そう、まずはお芝居なしでただセリフを読んでいく。その中で大まかな流れや間の感じ、お互いのキャラクターのイメージを共有していきましょう。実際にお芝居の動作をつけていく立ち稽古はそれが終わってからでいいでしょう。
That makes sense. The script's been worked on since we last saw it, so it's wise to go over it again.
まずはみんなでざっくり読み合わせをして自分なりの課題を見つけておいて、それから それぞれが重点的に自分の役を掘り下げる個人練習をするというのでどうかしら。幸いこのお屋敷には部屋がたくさんあるし、脚本もそうしやすい構成になっているから。
確かにね、出番がまとまってると思うわ。あ、言われてみればそうかも。
Maddie's eyes open slightly wider in realization as she nods.
そうですね。ほぼまんべんなく出番があるのは主人公だけで、後の絡みはシーン単位でのメリハリがはっきりしてますから。もうちょっとバランスよく散らした方が良かったかな。
I think it's fine as it is. I'm pretty sure having multiple characters moving in and out of the same scene would just make it harder for the audience to understand.
そうね。出番の箇所が増えるとセリフも増えそうだし、覚えるのがますます面倒になるわ。正直今だって多いくらいだと思ってるのに。
Saya flips through the script while exaggerating a frown.
そうですね。本番までにきちんと頭に入るでしょうか。
Akari looks like she could use a little more self-confidence. Wait, why am I acting like this is none of my business? I have a whole load of lines to learn myself. I show up the most of the whole play, second only to Mary.
もっと短くまとめるべきだった。そうだよね。やっぱり今からでも書き直して。
寸劇というわけではないのだから、それ相応の尺も必要だと思うな。これ以上短くしちゃうとちょっと物足りなくなるんじゃないかな。
Mary looked like she was about to snatch the scripts out of her hands and run off to her room to change her until Risa brought her to a halt.
それとね、演じる側の心構えとしても、あまり一言一句セリフを正確に覚えようという気持ちでやらない方が良かったりするんだ、こういうのは。
そうなんですか？
Akari and Mary look wide-eyed at Risa in surprise. Saya also looks taken aback, but not to the same extent. For that matter, I am too. You're saying we're not meant to memorize the script?
もちろんそれができるに越したことはないよ。でももっと重要なのは役柄、キャラクターの芯を抑えることだから。
キャラクターの芯。
Akari repeats quietly, trying to grasp the meaning of the words.
要はね、いわゆる勘どころをつかむのが大事ってことなんだけど。
Lisa flips the pages of her script.
この劇は録画して編集するテレビドラマや映画とは違う、あくまで生の舞台だから。セリフを間違えたからはい、そこからやり直しますというわけにはいかないでしょ。
You're right. Everyone nods.
だからね、大切なのは台本通りの正確なセリフを喋ることじゃなくて、このキャラクターが口にしても違和感がないと観客が思えるセリフを喋ることなの。観客は台本に何て書かれているかは知らないんだから。
I see. Now I get what Risa's saying. It's like with math, you don't memorize the answers, but the formulas that lead you there.
そうそう、それができれば何か不測の事態があったとしても対処しやすいでしょ。
じゃあその違和感さえなければ適当にアドリブとか入れても構わないわけ？
Saya glances over at Mary.
ああ、うん。私はもともとそのつもりだよ。やってみて この方がいいなって思ったらどんどん変更しようって思ってたから。アドリブとかむしろ大歓迎。
Mary's eyes glisten, hands clenched in front of her chest like she sprang to Saya, her would-be savior.
メアリー先輩ってすごく応用な方なんですね。
Akari mutters in admiration.
どうして？
Mary cocks her head to the side.
私の勝手なイメージだと、こういうものを描く人ってもっと自分の作品にうるさいものかと思っていました。自分の台本は完璧だ、改変するなんて絶対に許さないみたいな。
Mary smiles slyly, waving a hand in front of her face in embarrassment.
私なんか本当にただの素人だし、とてもそんな自信満々にはなれないよ。みんなの力を借りてちょっとでも面白いものになったらいいなって気持ち。
First, though, we'll need to do a run-through of the script as it is.
そうね、私もそれがいいと思う。
じゃあ早速始めましょうか。
はい。
よろしくお願いします。
And so we start our table read, each of us reading out our own character's lines. I read mine too, of course, and it's pretty tough. Ultimately, I've learned it's not as simple as just reading the words off the page. You have to match your timing to the overall pacing, control your breathing, and perform as your character. It requires your full concentration, otherwise you're going to slip up. You might even come across as stiff and awkward like Meta did the other day. Having said that though, we're all novices, so it's nothing to get too stressed about. The main problem right now is... Mary's been groaning with her head in her hands for a while now, scarlet from cheek to cheek. The rest of the cast have gone off into separate rooms with the residents to do some individual practice, as we agreed earlier. That's left Mary and I alone together. You don't need to get so down about it. I covered Mary with a pat on the shoulder. Mary raises her face and looks at me through teary eyes.
やっぱりものすっごく照れくさいよ。
Her hands snap back into position as she curls up again. You probably guessed by now, but the one who struggled the most during our table read was the lead role herself, Mary! Even though as the author of the script, she should understand the characters better than anyone. Perhaps the constant barrage of sickly sweet romance lines was too much for her, as she kept fumbling over her lines or speaking too quietly to be audible.
ねえ、リツ君はどうしてよどみなくセリフを言えるの？
Mary peeks out at me through the cracks in her fingers.
あんな歯が浮きまくるような超くっさいセリフなのに恥ずかしいとか思わないの？
I can't believe she said that. She wrote a thing. I did be lying about said I wasn't embarrassed at all, but you know, they're just lines in a play. It's actually a pretty cool experience, pretending to be someone I'm not. I think Saya and Akari both got into it the same way I did. Of course, she stumbled and made mistakes in parts, but overall, I could tell they were enjoying it.
私はそういう風にすっぱり綺麗にはなかなか割り切れないんだよ。何せ自分が書いたものだから。
She looks up at the ceiling, fists clenched. Just 'cause you wrote it doesn't mean the main character is you.
それはもちろんそうだよ。私あんなに大胆な女の子じゃないもん。
Mary gives a little nod, then looks at me.
なんかね、こういざお芝居しようとすると、違うの、これ私自身じゃないのって感じになっちゃうの。面白いと思ってもらえるんじゃないかと考えて書いただけで、自分の妄想をそのままさらけ出してるわけじゃないんだよ。誤解しないでって。
Okay, yeah, that's tough. I can see her mood is stemmed from being the author of the play. Now I'm stumped. We can change the cast this late in the game. My impression from the table read was that Sayo and Akari were both perfectly suited for their roles. I'm gonna go for Sayo and Max later. Our only option is to get Mary over this so she can act her part. Only, I'm sure Mary knows this, and that's probably causing her extra stress.
どうしたらいいのかな、こういうの。
I think all you really can do is keep practicing until you get used to it.
だよね。
Mary breathes a little sigh and gives me a feeble nod. I'll be helping you out. We can do this, Mary. Honestly, if I had to go out there right now and perform in front of people, the nerves would probably get the better of me too. Although I think I will be able to get over it. I mean, I've had sex with countless girls I don't even know their names of. What's more, wow, what a playboy. What's more, I've been watched doing it with the cabin groups. I've been watched, excuse me. Compared to that, acting doesn't seem like much of a mental strain. Of course, Mary is different.
ありがとう、リツくん。今さらもうやめられないんだし、私が自分で何とかするしかないんだよね。
There's no point overthinking it. Try to take it easy. At the end of the day, this is a bit of entertainment for Christmas. Of course, the more seriously we take it, the better the end performance will be. Mary nods at me, finally smiling naturally. Ain't he the perfect boyfriend, am I right, Mary? The two of us continue to practice reading for the script, with Mary getting slightly more comfortable as we go. The words are flowing more freely as we read them, though we're still far from being able to include a realistic degree of emotion in them. That was good. You're improving fast, Mary.
ありがとう。リツくんがうまく引っ張ってくれるおかげだよ。
Tell me if we're moving too fast, but how would you feel about doing an actual rehearsal? As obvious as it is, performing a play isn't just about reading your lines. It's about your movements, your gestures, and expressions as well. Those are much harder to practice without anyone watching you. There's often a large discrepancy between how you picture yourself mentally and what you're actually performing. You can practice in front of a mirror or record yourself and watch it back to elevate the decision. But since everyone's out together, the best way would be to have them watch and offer their opinions. I could summon them and have them back here in less than a minute. Mary nods just before her eyes are drawn to the entrance.
どうですか?
Hey guys! We were about to rehearse stuff together. Would you wanna watch?
少しは進歩があった?
リツくんも
The three others are walking towards us. That saves me from calling them. Decent, I just say. How about you?
順調よ。自分の出番は一通りおさらいできました。
Sayo and Akari nod confidently. They have a lot less to go over than Mary does too.
どうする？立ち稽古も少しくらいやってみる？
I was actually just talking to Mary about that. It's just we don't have enough time to do a full run through today. We've already spent quite a lot of time here. Doing a full rehearsal will take us past sundown easily. I don't want to keep everyone here that late.
どれか一つシーンを選んでやってみる？
台本の区切りもはっきりしているし、妥当なところじゃないかしら。
どのシーンにします？やっぱり最初の出会いのところ？多分それが無難。せっかくなんだからもっと攻めましょうよ。
Saya butts into the conversation, a huge grin on her face.
攻めるって？いきなりクライマックスっていうのも面白そうじゃない？クライマックスって。
Saya's smile grows, everyone's attention shifting to her as she flips through the script.
もちろんここでしょ？礼拝堂での別れ。
The page Saya pointing out is basically the last. It's the scene where the girl, played by Mary, and the vampire boy, played by me, decide to go their separate ways. It's the most dramatic scene in the entire play, well worthy of being called the climax, and how well received the play is overall will no doubt depend on how we will pull it off. It's the most important scene, so Saya's suggestions to start with it, while challenging, is understandable. Only, there's a problem.
でもここって。
Batista requires penis in the side of vagina. Akari struggles to speak as she looks down at her own script.
キスシーンあるね。
Ooh. Risa says bluntly. Mary and I found ourselves looking at each other in silence. That's right. Mary set up the last scene to have what every good romance sort of needs. A kiss. It fits with the play, the way the story progresses, in my opinion. Although we won't be kissing for real, it'll all be pretend.
いいでしょ？セリフだって少ないし。
Saya's right, the final run-up scenes don't have much speech in them. Which means that our acting has to be even better to make up for it.
ここをしっかりできれば他のシーンだって楽勝じゃない？演技の自信をつけるには最適だと思うけど。
We'll be practicing the same thing when we get to your route. Well, what she's saying is sound. One look at Saya's face tells me she's only doing it to have some fun. Okay then, sounds good. To you, Mary?
頑張ってやってみる。
I glance over at her to see Mary's expression is as stern as it stern gets. This has gotten her really worked up. I hope it turns out okay.
じゃあ礼拝堂へ移動しましょう。
Risa takes up a position in the center of the chapel as she goes over where we'll be starting from.
こちら側が客席として、ミアリーさんは上手に。
She points slightly up from where she is standing. Mary plots over script in hand.
この辺りでもう少し先に。そう、その辺りで止まって。
この辺りでいいでしょうか？はい。
それからミアリーさんが一人で祈りを捧げているところに下手からリツくんが入ってくる。
Okay. Now it's my turn to follow instructions and move to the edge of the stage.
じゃあ私がドアが開く音の代わりにパンって手を叩くから、それを合図にシーン開始ね。
わかりました。
でもちょっと待ってください。
Akari suddenly pops up, raising a hand. What is it?
今ちょっと思ったんですけど、
これ横で見せない方がいいんじゃないでしょうか。
どういうこと？
Mary looks blankly at Akari. I don't really understand where she's going with this either.
会場全体を使って見せるとリツ先輩の登場が盛り上がるんじゃないかなって。つまり
Akari gestures to the center of the stage.
メアリー先輩はあそこで背を向ける形で祈りを捧げている。そして
Akari spins around to look behind her, right at the main door to the chapel.
あそこからリツ先輩が入ってきてメアリー先輩のところまで歩み寄るというのはどうでしょう。多分お客さんもまさか背後から役者が現れるとは思っていないでしょうから、サプライズ演出として盛り上がるかなって。
面白いわね、それ。いいじゃない。
Same? We'll be using the aisle through the seats as a walkway? Now I understand what she meant by a flat perspective. This way we add the depth, bringing our performance into the third dimension.
はい、そういうことです。
Akari nods, blushing in embarrassment.
なるほど。あかりちゃんすごい。
いいアイデアだね。ただそうなると照明の当て方にも少し工夫がいるかも。
Devil, no shit.
そうですよね。出てくるときに移動を追いかけないと。もしくはあらかじめ天井か足元に花道を照らすライトを仕込んでおいて、その瞬間にさーっと点灯させるとかね。
That sounds cool.
それすごくかっこいい気がします。でも律の移動は間に合うの？一度会場の外に出て回り込む必要があるでしょ。この直線のシーンも結構ギリギリまで前にいることになっているけど。
Saya points out an evident flaw. True. Guess I'll have to sprint over while the curtain's down. And in secret, so as not to spoil the surprise.
それっぽい音楽を流して主人公の心情ナレーションを入れるのはどう？そこからひざまずいて祈るメアリーさんにスポットをゆっくり当てる形にすれば1分くらいは尺を稼げるでしょ。
どんどん演出アイデアが。それいいですね。やりましょう。というか他の場所にもナレーション入れた方がもっと分かりやすくなる気がしてきました。今夜にでもまた開講というか書き足そうと思います。
Sounds good to me.
やりすぎるとテンポが悪くなると思うからほどほどにね。
でもそうなるとナレーション役も必要になってくるんじゃない？
まあそれは提案した以上私が担当しましょう。
ありがとうございます。
Mary beams, her eyes shining with happiness.
なんだかすっごく素敵な劇に仕上がりそうな気がしてきた。
そうね。でも全ては2人の演技次第よ。
Lisa smiles kindly as she looks equally at me and Mary.
それじゃあ時間がもったいないし早速やってみましょう。自分の位置にスタンバイして。
Lisa gives the signal. I do as Akari proposed, walking up to the aisle to where Mary kneels in prayer. So this is where you are. Mary slowly stands up and turns to face me. Have you reached a decision? I recite the lines from the script.
ええ。
A small pause, then Mary nods.
やっぱり私あなたと一緒には行けない。
May I ask, why? I grab hold of Mary's wrist and pull her towards me, staring into her eyes from up close.
どうしても
Mary returns my gaze as she shakes her head.
私は私の大切な人たちと別れることはできないの。ごめんなさい。
We stare at each other for a few more seconds. This is it. The moment I pull her into an embrace. I see. It doesn't matter how much I tell myself this is a play and that it's all an act. That what I'm about to do amid all the decent lookers is me getting embarrassed. Oh, and now do I realize this is a tougher emotional hill to climb over than it is when girls come to me for sex. I can hardly just stand here and stare at her now, can I now? I muster up my courage, wrap my arms around Mary and hold her close. The tips of her sweet-smelling soft hair tickles my cheek. Ah, this is a smell for sore noses.
ごめんなさい。
Yeah, I do thought this embrace might make Mary panic in embarrassment, but she's as calm can be. Do not apologize. This is your decision, and I respect it. However, I loosen my grip on Mary so I can stare back into her eyes. We're so close, our cheeks are mere millimeters from being stuck together. Yet Mary still shows no signs of wavering. May I ask for one last selfish request?
お願い。
I would ask for a farewell gift.
うん、いいよ。私にできることなら何でも言って。
Thank you. Then I ask for a kiss. Mary gulps, her eyes opening ever so slightly wider. I take her silence to mean you consent. I trace my fingers down her cheek, wrapping around under her jaw to lift it towards me. It's time to lean in. Here goes. Upon closer inspection, I'm struck once again with the inhuman, not that she is human, technically beauty of her face. Honestly, this might be... No, because this is a play, my heart is pounding. Lisa claps. Mary and I stop our act and pull apart.
ごめんね。ちょっとストップ。
Damn it.
このシーン、全体的にたっぷり見せた方がいいと思う。
You're saying I should take it slower?
ええ、ちょっとあっさりしすぎかなって思う。せっかくのクライマックスなんだから、見ている方がのめり込むための間を意識して。
Got it.
あと、ここはもう少し体をひねって、客席から口元を隠すような感じがいいと思う。その方が本当にキスしてるのかもっていうドキドキ感を煽るでしょ。メアリーさんも合わせてね。もう少しこう、棒立ちじゃなくて色っぽい絡み感が欲しいかな。
具体的にはどうしたら。
そうね。リツくんの背中と腰に腕を回して、指先にギュッと力を入れてしがみつくような感じとか。
わかりました。やってみます。
じゃあもう一度。はい。
I turn back to face Mary. This time, twisting around slightly to hide our faces from the audience, as instructed. Mary wraps her arms around my back. She then clenches her fingers, also as instructed. Only, there's no emotion, no pain, Not in her expression, not in her actions. She looks disinterested. Her actions more robot than human.
ダメダメ。それじゃダメだよ、メアリーさん。
Lisa stops us again.
何がダメなんですか？
Mary pulls away from me and looks over to Lisa in puzzlement.
私としては言われた通りにやったつもりですけど。
やっぱりなんだか気がないように見えるのよね。二人は見ていてどう？
Lisa turns to Akari and Saya for their opinions.
そうですね。私もリサ先生に同感です。情感が足りないわね、圧倒的に。情感？
Mary's face crunches up as she gets further confused.
リツくんもやっていて感じるでしょ？
どういうこと？
And it looks around at everyone in turn before finally laying eyes on me. It's like, you're not empathizing with how your character is meant to feel. I hadn't noticed it was this bad when we were just reading our lines together. Well, to be honest, back then I was too focused on getting her over her embarrassment so she could actually make it through her lines in one go. But now it's painfully obvious that just being able to say your lines is not enough.
役としての気持ち？
Looks like it still hasn't clicked for Mary.
その思いを寄せ合った相手とやむを得ず別れる人の思い詰めたような雰囲気がないということだと思います。盛り上がりの空気感に欠けるのよ。自分で書いたんだからそれくらい分かりそうなものだけどね。
Saya starts pouting, irritated.
まだお芝居をすることに慣れていないんだと思いますよ。
Akari forces a smile as she tries to smooth things over.
ごめんなさい。
Mary's shoulders drop and she hangs her head.
そういうのよ。今のごめんなさいは自然に感情が乗っていたでしょ。
Yeah.
方向性は違うけど同じように演技でもできないもの。
Mary's eyes open wide like she'd just taken a punch to the gut.
そう言われてもよくわかんない。だって今のは素の自分としての言葉だしお芝居とは違うから。困ったな。
Reza sighs pensively.
正直なところ、この調子で立ち稽古を続けてもあまり芳しくなさそうかな。もう少し役の掘り下げをしてちゃんとキャラクターの芯を掴んだ方がいいと思う。多分これはお芝居というアウトプット以前の問題な気がする。
We end up cutting rehearsal short so that Mary and I can focus on developing our roles. Mary breathes a deep sigh, feebly holding her rolled up script.
自分で作ったものを自分でつかめないなんて間の抜けた話だよね。
My opinion aligns with the others. Mary is bad at making her acting seem realistic. That's the short version. To go more in depth, I believe it stems from the difficulty Mary's having in making the part her own. She can put herself in the character's shoes and make herself believe she is that person, which is how acting is meant to work. I think it's pretty tough, huh?
ほんと。
Her eyes follow to the script as she flips the page.
人事だと思えばこそ好き放題にかけたようなものだから、これを自分のことだと考えるっていうのは
It still doesn't feel real.
だって私実際にこんな経験したことないもん。本とか映画とかのお話はすごく好きだけど、
I think I have an idea as to the root of this problem. Mary,
何？
you like ramen stuff, yeah?
大好きだよ。
Mary answers without hesitation.
ワクワクするしドキドキする。悲しいお話もあるし、そういうのはかわいそうだなって思うけど、やっぱり面白いことに変わりはないよ。
Yeah. Does watching that stuff ever make you feel like you want to experience it yourself?
思わないよ。
Mary smiles and flaps her hand like nothing could be more obvious.
だって私にできるわけないもん。
I see. So that's why. It seems that as far as Mary's concerned, love isn't something that runs adjacent to her life. Considering the path she's been walking, I can't say I don't understand. Have you ever fallen in love with someone? This question causes Mary to ponder for a moment, her eyes wandering.
もしかしたらすごく昔にあったのかもしれないけど、今はもう覚えてない。あんまり自信ないけど。
You not even be like, oh, this person's cool?
もちろんたくさんあるよ。好きなものはたくさんあるし、好きな人もたくさんいる。でもそれっていわゆる恋とは違うんじゃないかな、きっと。お話の中で見るような恋ってもっと自分の欲望と密接につながっている気がするんだよね。何かを犠牲にしたり捨てることを選んだりしてでもその人に執着するみたいな。
That's fair. I nod.
そういう強い気持ちがないんだよ、私。英語で言うとアフェクションはあってもラブはないの、多分。
Maybe that's because you're a vampire?
うん。私はみんなとは違う世界の住人で違う時間を生きてきたから。誰かと付き合いたいと思ったことも実際に付き合ったこともないの。
Loneliness begins to tinge Mary's voice. Because she decided not to focus that much emotion into anyone. There are people who refuse to get pets because their lives are too short and they can't bear the pain of saying goodbye. I wonder if that's similar to how Mary feels as a vampire. That she can't fall in love with someone who isn't destined to walk the same eternal night. Mary cocks her head, brow creasing uneasily.
どうかな。あんまり深く考えたことないかも。自分にそういうことをする才能や資格があるって発想そのものがなかったっていうか。
You think it's about ability? I never expected her to say this. This world is filled with love. It should be an emotion everyone's familiar with. Yet you and Mary aren't, though. But Mary, a vampire, isn't. Not that I'm in much of a position to talk, mind you. Yeah.
リツくんは例えば自分が 100m を9秒台で走ってオリンピックに出られるって思う？
No way, that's not happening.
だよね。私にとっての恋愛もそういうものだよ。なんていうのかな。プロのスポーツ選手の試合を観客席から見てるような感じ。見た目は一緒でも、あれは自分と違うものだからできることなんだって っていう。
I kind of get it now. There's never been anyone for Mary to fall in love with. So she's never had the opportunity to try to, or even want to. This all comes down to the fact that vampires are different to humans.
素人のお芝居くらいなら外側をちょっと真似すればいけるのかなって思ったけど甘かったね。やっぱり知識だけの頭でっかちじゃダメなんだな。
With a grandiose sighing, Mary hangs her head. There's no need to get so down over this. Nobody's expecting us to win an Oscar.
でも少なくとも今のままじゃダメなんだよね。
If you think you can improve, then you should try to do so. Lisa, Sayo, Akari, and I are all of the same opinion. We'll figure out a way to support Mary somehow.
でもどうすればいいのかな。全然わかんないよ。ひたすら演技の練習するしかない？
I'm not sure. This is an emotional problem, so I'm not sure rehearsing will get you anywhere. I mean, I'm no expert on things, but my experience with love is no different than Maddie's. I do have one slight advantage, though.
でもリツくんの演技は私よりずっとちゃんとしてたと思うよ。
All of my encounters have probably helped some.
ああ、そっか。そうだよね。
Meta gives me a comprehending nod.
あのさ、リツくん相手だからちょっと身も蓋もないことを聞いちゃうけど。
Sure, go for it.
することで何か新たに感じるものってあるの？相手が前後で違って見えるとか。
Yeah, there's quite a lot of things. That question was more direct than I expected, but I decided to answer it. When you have someone pressed up against you, it feels like there's this switch inside you that's being flipped. That's not all there is to it, of course.
そっか、そうなのか。
Old man needs this big pillow, but this big pillow is covering the sun, so I can't. Anxiety spreads over Mary's face, my back kinda hurts.
そうなると経験で補えない私ってやっぱり無理だ。他人と粘膜接触とか絶対無理だもん。感染させちゃう。
Well, that was a curveball. My phone's ringing now? I guess I can save it for another episode. I'll wait a little bit till the sun's gonna go away and take my big boy to help me out with my back and get to another episode immediately. Other than that, thank you for watching. I'll see you in another one real soon. Will you stop ringing?